Hey guys, it's the Photo Fiend here. I'm with Irene Rudnick Photography,
Hey.
and we're here to talk a little bit about the divide that is technical photography and artistic photography. And we also made another video that I'll link you down below for Irene's channel.
That was perfect.
Thank you.
I feel like this divide exists because photography is an art form, but we do use cameras and technology to create the art. We use it as a medium, right? So technology is a very big part of the photography, but I mean, in my opinion, it's not the most important part of the photography. And there is a specific group of people that value the technical aspects of it way more
What do we call
than the
those people?
creative.
Us.
Oh my god, you look...
I call y'all fedora photographers. Yeah, I mean, so my take on technical versus art is really you just got to decide for yourself how you want to create your images and what knowledge base you want to gain while doing that. Whether you want it to be extremely technical and apply science to your images, or if you just want to get creative and wild and crazy and just have fun taking images.
Yeah, and
So-
I mean, there's nothing bad about being very technical, and I feel like for a lot of people, it's really a hobby to like collect gear and talk about gear and try it out and all sorts of things like that, and it's totally cool, right? My issue with this kind of group of people is that when they start like turning into the know-it-all,
It's the
and-
bullying. They start bullying other photographers who don't do things like they do things. They bully photographers who don't necessarily have a lot of technical knowledge about this stuff. Like I don't even know anything about half of this stuff. But that's not going to stop me from grabbing it and going out there and creating images. And that's sort of where the conflict happens.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like, I mean, I get a lot of these comments on my YouTube channel. I get these kind of people telling me how to do things or how to not do things all the time. And I always welcome any kind of advice. I love to learn from my viewers, and I've had some really awesome advice like given to me, in the past, but I really don't like it when someone tells me that something is completely wrong or a wrong way to do something, right? That
Yeah.
you should go by the rules, and the rule is that you should always have like your landscape on, because see, there's my camera here, and I like to leave my lens cap this way. The reason why I leave it like this is I want to always have it on hand. So I have it on my camera, but sometimes I like the light leaks that come in, and whenever I feel like there's too much light and I'm shooting some backlit images, I'll put the landscape like how it's supposed to go, right? But for sometimes when I feel like, oh, I actually like it without the landscape cap, right? I'll put it back.
But if you really want lens leaks, you should just buy mine.
There's nothing wrong with not having a landscape on or off. Honestly, it's complete just preference to the look. This is not like a universal rule that if you don't have your landscape cap on the right way, you're not a photographer, or you're an amateur, or you're doing things the wrong way.
Yeah, let's definitely talk about that. The right way and the wrong way. I see so many blog posts of people saying if you don't do this, you're doing it wrong, or anything pertaining to wrong and right is senseless. First off, there's no wrong way to go about creating art. So no matter what you do, you're not doing it wrong. You're doing it however you need to do it to create your work of art. And so it's really important to not listen to people who are going around saying you're doing it wrong, because all they're doing is they're essentially saying that they're jealous that they can't do it the way you're doing it. So there's no wrong way to do things. And when people are throwing rules in your face, like you go to school and you hear about rule of thirds and rules this and rules that, just forget about rules. Break all of the rules. There's no wrong way to do anything. There are no rules when you're creating art. So keep that in mind when people are like, technically you did that wrong. You can just, remove those people from
Ignore.
your world.
I mean, it's the same way
Don't kill them.
as telling like a painter to use a pencil instead of like an oil-based paint. I mean, it's a complete preference to the artist of what they want to use
How do
to
you
create
paint
their
with
art.
a pencil?
It completely doesn't matter what they choose to use, as long as in the end they achieve what they want. I mean, the good example is that some of my most favorite pictures that I've took ever was with the Canon Rebel XSI. That was my very first camera, and I was using a kit lens that came with it, and I had no idea about the settings. I honestly did not know what a shutter speed or ISO or an f-stop is, so I was shooting everything on auto. And if you go on my 500px and you find those images, you'll see the most ridiculous settings ever.
Yeah.
Like the shutter speed is like 50, and the f-stop is like some weird 3.6, and the ISO is like 500 or something like that. Like the weirdest
What's ISO?
settings, the weirdest settings ever. But the picture was one of my favorite, and that image actually went on the popular page of 500px, on the very first page.
There you go.
Which just shows that it doesn't matter if you literally don't know technically what are you doing, as long as you're getting the image in the end that provokes some kind of
That's all that
emotion in other people.
Anger.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's my take on things. I mean, for me, I shot my first magazine cover with a Nikon D40. That's a 6 megapixel, $100 Kijiji camera. And, you know, a lot of people were making fun of me for that, but I landed the cover and it looked all right. The gear didn't matter, really. I mean, technical matters to a certain degree, but when you're creating images that people, you know, they can't really tell whether you screwed up your ISO or you set your white balance, or maybe you didn't use a light meter. I don't even know what a light meter is, but...
I mean, the rules of photography is something that you want to know it, but you don't want to follow it to a T. It's something that will help you generally to get a better image, right? Like knowing your settings. But to say that if you do not know these, you cannot be a photographer, or you cannot take a picture, or you're doing it wrong, is wrong. Like, there's so many photographers that are super young that honestly don't have an experience, don't know about a lot of things, but they have a talent, that they have the eye for the photography, and they're getting really, really nice images.
Yeah, I mean...
And times change, right? So, like 90 years ago, what to say? 10 years ago, like 20 years ago in the 90s, maybe you did need to use all sorts of crazy gear and the lights because the cameras weren't as good, and you couldn't get a nice image with, like, you know, a DSLR right now.
Yeah.
But the times change, and honestly, you can achieve really great images with like a crop sensor. Like, what's wrong with it?
You can shoot JPEG, you can shoot RAW, you can set your white balance, or you can just leave it for post work. It doesn't matter. The whole point of this is there's no rules, there are no rules, and you don't have to follow what the other guy's doing. I don't copy her because she shoots a lot of flowers and stuff and girly girl stuff, and she doesn't copy me because I'm awesome. But I guess something to touch on with regards to all of the drama that the smart people stay away from it. I'm not too smart. Sometimes I get in big fights. But really, all it is it's all jealousy based. So when you've got a guy ranting on you, telling you you're doing it wrong, he's just jealous, or she's just jealous. When they're bullying you to that level, they're just upset that you're getting all the attention for the images you're putting out there, and they're not able to get attention. That's the only way they can get attention, is by being a loudmouth keyboard warrior on the interweb. And that's just what, you know, some people have all the time of day to do that stuff. We don't. We have... we spend our time being creative, working on our stuff.
Exactly. I never have the urge to go on someone else's work and tell them how they should do things. I don't understand the point of it. I don't know how I would benefit from it, or would I feel like better about myself if I would tell someone that their work is not good enough, or they have to work on some things. Again, advice is totally different from like a useless critique, you know.
There's a big pet peeve of mine: professional critique, or whatever people call it. Critiquing others' work is ridiculous. I mean, unless I'm going out there saying, hey, what do you think about this? I want your honest opinion. Is it crap or is it good? Tell me what you think. Then there should be no critique. And people are like, oh, well, I'm free to critique you because you put it on the internet. Well, yeah, you're right. You are free to be a jerk. But sorry,
yeah,
you're
it's
just
just
a
your
jerk.
opinion, and most of the time it's a shitty opinion. That just, I mean, at the end of the day, I think we all should be nicer to each other. I mean, I'm always nice to everyone else,
Not me.
unless they're being rude to me. If someone is being rude to me and trying to undermine me as a photographer, or tell me that my work is not good enough or something like that, then, I mean, I will try. I mean, I don't see the point of defending my work, but, I mean, I'll try to maybe argue with that person sometimes, which is something that I would not recommend doing. I would just recommend ignoring, and I'm really trying to ignore these kind of comments nowadays. But yeah, at the end of the day, let's all just admire the differences in our work. And I mean, it would be really, really boring if every single photographer just followed a same rule.
Yeah.
What kind of art would we create? It would just all be the same rule of thirds, flash out, and I don't know, some kind of regular, uninteresting portrait or landscape. Like, I don't see the point. So yeah, let's just all admire each other's differences and how we do things differently, and not try to undermine someone else just because they're doing something differently than you are doing it.
Yeah, I guess if I was to close with anything, my advice to give to young up-and-coming artists is to, well, even we get bullied all the time. So when you see that, it's normal. There are a lot of jerks out there bullying people, and they do love to attack the younger scene, the artists who are just starting their portfolios out. My advice is social media's got great tools for blocking, deleting, unfriending, and you just ignore it. And just know it's normal. There's always going to be trolls out there, and you can just block and delete them, and don't engage them. Spend your time honing your skills, perfecting your craft, and working on your portfolio. And the other advice is don't follow any rules. And good people to not listen to are the people who are saying that you're doing it wrong, or that you should do it like them. Unless you really admire them and respect them, which is not the case for those kind of people. If they're telling you you're doing it wrong and you're comfortable doing it the way you're doing it, just don't listen to them. Block, delete, unfriend, punch in the mouth. No, don't do that. That's it.
Okay, we should finish somehow.
We could finish with like an arm wrestle or something.
While we arm wrestling with me in the fedora. With my camera in one hand.
Whoever wins gets the 85 millimeter 1.2
No!
L series glass.
Wait, what do I get from your gear if I win?
That fisheye lens is pretty
I don't
awesome.
want it.
You can have that camera there. It
I
doesn't
want
work.
some cool film Oh,
Like,
that
right
film
now
one?
we're just holding hands. This is awkward. Let's do this.
No.
Come on, Irene.
No.
Oh my God, the Eastern Europeans.
I get all
What's
of
in
your
the
gear
water
now.
over there in Ukraine?
Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't take it too seriously. We're just kind of talking and sharing our opinions. Give it a like if you liked it. Give it a dislike if you dislike it. Start trolling in the comments. And
Yeah, let's
Is that
get some
good?
trolls. We need some fedora photographers commenting on my videos. I don't have any trolls right now. Let's
we need more trolls.
bring the
on
haters
Philippines
forth.
Channel.
Bring the haters forth. I got a lot of haters, just not on YouTube for some reason.
Alright, so
Let's make
don't
it happen.
Alright, so don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and all of that, and check out my video. It's gonna be in the description down below. Okay, bye!
Oh, I forgot to turn this on. See?
People are gonna hate me for this. Too long.
Fuck. I don't know.
Okay, don't listen to me. Just say whatever you want to say.
Can you do the intro? Okay. I can talk like a motherfucker.
Oh, there he is, the photo fiend.
That's me. Just keep it live. Let people see how ridiculous we are. What was that about? We're never gonna get through the intro.
And the more artistic photographer.
Nice one.
Rising up, something.